And for your quality right here, you can use 75 or 80, but I use 75 for all my images. While for this option right here, make sure your optimize is checked, and make sure your enable color profile is checked, and make sure your convert to sRGB is checked. And once you are done, just click on save and save it to whichever folder you want to save it to Photoshop. So that's how I save my image to get a sharp looking image when I upload it to Instagram and Facebook. Hello YouTube, welcome back to the part 2 of this beginner retouching series. In the part 1 of this video, we talked about how you can remove stray hair. So let me just show you how we started. So this is how we brought the image to Photoshop, and right here we'll remove those stray hairs on the image, as you can see, the before and after. And on this one right here, we just fixed the eyes right here. So this is the before and this is the after, and after that we removed the blemishes and we did our focus separation, and this is the before and this is the after. So if you want to learn how we did all that, make sure to click on this link showing on the screen right now, and also I'll be leaving a link to the part 1 of this video in the description below, so make sure to go check out this video. So for the part 2 of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to even out skin tones, and also how to make the eyes and teeth white, and also how to color grade this image, and also how you can save your image and get a sharp image when you upload it to Facebook and Instagram. So let's get started. So after doing my focus separation, I'm just going to even out the skin tone to make the skin tone look even. I can see the skin tone look even already, but just in case you have image that the skin tone does not look even, this is how you even out your skin tone. This is the easiest way to do it. Like I said, this is a beginner tutorial, so I'm going to teach you everything as a beginner. So just create a new empty layer. So once you create a new empty layer, pick your normal brush tool, make sure your foreground color is set to white, and just increase your brush size. Sample from any area you want your image to look like. So I want my image to look like this area right here, so I'm going to click on alternate and sample from this area right here, and make sure opacity is set to 100, your flow is set to 100, and just paint on the image like this. I know it's not looking good right now, but I'm going to make it look good. So just paint on your image like this. Paint only on the skin, don't paint on any part of the image outside the skin, just paint only on the skin like this. There's an advanced way you can do this, but this is the beginner way you can do this. I already have a video on how you can do this the advanced way, and just check my page and you're going to see that video. But also I'm going to make another video in the future just to explain it better. So just paint on only the skin, not paint on the eyes. Okay, now after that, what you're going to do, you come to your blend mode and just change the blend mode to color. So once you change the blend mode to color, just come to your filter, you come to your blur, you come to your equation blur, and just blur it to the radius of about, let's say 2, and click on OK. And right now what we're going to do, we're just going to reduce the opacity to about 20 like this. Okay, now let's see our before and after. These are before and these are after. These are before and these are after. You can see the skin tone are matching right now. So this is the easiest way you can match your skin tone in Photoshop, the easiest way. So after the next I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to whiten the eyes and teeth. And to whiten your eyes and teeth, I have an action for that. But since this is a beginner tutorial, I'm just going to do it from scratch. So to make your eyes white or your teeth white, if your image has teeth, because this image does not have teeth, but if your image has teeth, this is the same method. So just come to your adjustment layer, or click down here, click on your adjustment layer, look for your curves adjustment layer. So once you see your curves adjustment layer, click on it, and just move these sliders up a bit like this. Okay, it's looking good like this. Now the next thing you are going to do, come to your adjustment layer again, look for your vibrance. So come to your vibrance, click on it, and just come to your saturation, and just take your saturation all the way down a little bit, let's say 40. There's no particular number, but just take it until you feel the eyes is looking white. So once you feel it's okay, come to your adjustment layer again. Now click on your photo filter. So this is our photo filter right here. So click on it and just choose cooling 80 like this, and just reduce the density a little bit like this to add a kind of bluish look to the eyes, because you don't want the eyes to be all white. So after that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to group everything. Hold shift on the first layer right here, come to the curves, click on it, and just click on Ctrl G to group all that layer. And right now all you have to do is add the layer mask and click on Ctrl I to invert that layer mask. So once you invert the layer mask, Since the mask is on black, just pick your normal brush tool, make sure your foreground color is set to white, and just paint on the eye. Make sure your flow is set to 100 and your opacity is set to 100, and make sure you're using a soft round brush, and just paint on the eyes like that. Okay, so another thing you can do, you can just come to your layer mask, come to your properties, and just feather it a little bit like this, and reduce the opacity because I don't want it to be too white. The goal is to make this image look as natural as possible, so I'm going to reduce the brightness a little bit. So this is the before and this is the after, the before and after. So that's how you do your eyes and teeth whitening. So let's see our before and after of our eyes and teeth whitening. So these are before and these are after. So if this image has teeth, I would have done the same thing for the teeth. So next I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to add contrast to this image. You can use curves to add contrast, you can use levels to add contrast, but let me show you the easiest way to add contrast to your image. Just come to your brightness and contrast right here and just add contrast. Just click on this contrast and just move your sliders to this part right here like this to add contrast to your image. So I think 24 works for me. So this is the before and this is the after. This is the before and this is the after. So we have added contrast to this image. You can see this image is looking good already. Now for the color grading, this image doesn't really need a lot of color grading. What I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to add a little bit of color to the highlights, maybe a little bit of colors to the shadow as well. I'm going to leave the midtones as it is because the image looks perfect already. So to add colors to the shadows and highlights, all you have to do is come to your adjustment layer right here. So if you cannot find the adjustment layer up here, just click on this circle right here, click on it, and you're going to see your adjustment layer. Just click on your color balance. So once you click on color balance right here, you are going to see your midtones, your highlights, and your shadows. So I'm going to work on the shadows first. So I'll come to my shadows and I'm just going to add blues to the shadows. So to add blues to the shadows, you can see right here, this part is our blues. Just come to our blue sliders and just move it towards the blue side a little bit to add blues to the shadows. +4 or +5. Just do it a little bit, don't overdo it. If you take it all the way up like this, you can see the image is not looking good. So just take it to a minimum of about 5 or 4. So for this image I'll be using 4. So let's use 4. And also I'm going to add cyan to the shadow side, so I'm going to move my cyan sliders to the side. So let's say -3 for the cyan. So this is the before and this is the after. You can see the difference that makes to this image. So next I'm going to do, I'll just come to my tones again, I'll come to my highlights, and I'm just going to add a little bit of yellows to the highlights like this. I think -7. So I move my sliders to this yellow side to -5, and also I'm going to move it to this red side as well to let's say +5 as well. So these are before and these are after. These are before and these are after. And the next I'm going to do, let me see if I want to add a little of magenta to this image, or a little bit of let's say red to this image. So I'll just come to my selective color, come to my adjustment layer again, come to my selective color, or you can come down here, click on selective color, just come to the reds and just add a little bit of I'll come to the yellows and just add a little bit of reds to the yellows like this. And next I'm going to come back to the reds, just add a little bit of yellows to the reds, let's say +1. Okay, so I feel this color grading is looking good like this. So this is the before and this is the after. So let me just group my color grading so you can see the difference, the before and after. So this is the before and this is the after. This is the before and this is the after. And if you feel it's too much, you can just reduce the opacity. But I don't want to reduce the opacity of the contrast, so I'm just going to remove the contrast from this group. I don't want the opacity to affect the contrast, so I'm just going to group only my selective color and my color balance. So I'm just going to reduce the opacity. So before and after, before and after. So I feel it's looking good like this. Remember, you don't have to over edit your image. If the image is over edited, it's not going to make the image look good. So in retouching, less is always more. So just keep your retouching minimal and leave no trace. So if we saw our before and after, you can see this image is looking better, and this image doesn't even look as if I somehow retouched it, but it's looking better and looking natural. So this is the original image and this is where we are right now. You can see the image is looking good. Let me see if I should add sharpness to this image. I don't want to add sharpness to this image. I feel this image is looking sharp already, and I don't want to add grains to this image. I feel the image is looking good as it is already. Now next I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you guys how to save your image to get a sharp looking image when you upload it to Instagram and Facebook. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to resize your image. And to resize your image, all you have to do is come to your image and click on image size and just use 9 for this image. If your image is set to 15, for some case you can get 20, 30, 15, but just resize it to, just change your width to 9. So once you change your width to 9, the height automatically change, and just leave the settings as it is default, and just click on OK. And next thing you're going to do to save your image, just come to your file, you come to your export, don't click on save, come to your export and click for or save for web legacy. So just click on this save for web legacy, because we uploaded this image to Instagram and Facebook. But if you want to print your image or you want to frame your image, you can just save it as it is. You can just click on save normally. But if you want to post it for Instagram and Facebook or any social media, make sure you are using this method I just show you, save for web legacy. Now what you're going to do, make sure this place is set to JPEG. If it's not set to JPEG, change this place to JPEG. And for your quality right here, you can use 75 or 80, but I use 75 for all my images. While for this option right here, make sure your optimize is checked, and make sure your enable color profile is checked, and make sure your convert to sRGB is checked. And once you are done, just click on save and save it to whichever folder you want to save it to, Photoshop. So that's how I save my image to get a sharp looking image when I upload it to Instagram and Facebook. So let's see our overall before and after of what we did for this image from the beginning. So this is where we started from, and this is where we are right now. So let me quickly do a quick recap. So the first thing I did for this image, I just removed the stray hair. As you can see, this is the before, this is the after. Next thing I did, I work on this eyes right here. I add a little bit of hair to it, and this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. And another thing I did, I just did focus separation to remove the blemishes and smoothing out the skin. So this is the before and this is the after. And the next thing I did, I just matched the skin tone. This is the before and this is the after. And next thing I did, I just whitened the eyes, the before and after. And after that, I just add contrast to this image. This is the before and this is the after. Now the next thing I did, I just color graded the image, and this is the before and this is the after, the before and after. So that's all for this beginners tutorial. I'll be doing more videos about retouching on this channel right now, because I feel that's what people really want, and I feel that's what people need. And one more thing, if you learned anything from this video, make sure to give this video a like so more people can see this video and learn from this video as well. I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay creative.